Okay, Obama said to the New Republic he'd get a lot more done without Fox News and Rush Limbaugh. The rest of the media is in the tank. Everybody else has fallen in line. There is no opposition other than Fox News and Limbaugh. And the way it works is, and see what this all boils down to, Republicans, I mean, everybody knows they want to get along with Democrats. Everybody knows they want to socialize. They want to have their lives have meaning. And Limbaugh is the one standing in the way, because what happens, the Republicans are simply afraid that I'm going to criticize them if they do something that is cooperative with the Democrats. And so that's a problem. And, he started his first term the same way. The timing here is interesting. I think within the first week, maybe two, in 2009, Obama convened a meeting at the White House of the congressional leadership, House and Senate, Republican, Democrat. And he said to John Boehner and Eric Cantor, you can't listen to Rush Limbaugh. That's not the way things get done. And I remember I talked to Boehner here in the EIB Southern Command orifices some short weeks later, and he brought that up, and he said, why would he say that to us? We're sitting there, we're talking about legislative action coming down the pike in his first year. He said, can't listen to Rush Limbaugh. You got to stop listening to Limbaugh. That's not how things get done. And I said, you really don't know why he was hoping one of you would agree with him. Mr. Speaker, he was hoping that one of you Republicans would go to the microphone after that meeting and agree with him, because his whole purpose is to eliminate any opposition. Rush, that's not what he's trying. Boehner disagreed with me and said that I was misreading the situation. Here we are 4 years later, and it's the same thing. Different words, same thing. I'd get more done. The Republicans would be more willing to work with the Democrats, meaning the Republicans would be more willing to cave in. The Republicans would be more willing to compromise their principles. The Republicans would be more willing to give me what I want if it weren't for Fox News and Rush Limbaugh, because I've got everybody else in the tank. This is on This Week, the Needs David Brinkley from ABC yesterday. Martha Raddatz was a co-host, and she's talking to Chris Hughes, who's the editor-in-chief and publisher of the New Republic. She said, Chris, you had a pretty extraordinary interview there with President Obama. He pointed out something that he thought was a problem with the Republicans. He said in the interview that certain members of the media are hurting the Republican Party, too. He said if a Republican member of Congress is not punished on Fox or by Rush Limbaugh for working with a Democrat on a bill of common interest, then you'll see a lot more of them doing it. I think Boehner genuinely wanted to get a deal done, but it was hard to do, in part because his caucus is more conservative, probably, than most Republican leaders are. By the way, Boehner is now saying, well, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he's saying he wouldn't have done the fiscal cliff deal the way he did it if he had to do it again. Here's what Chris Hughes, the editor of the New Republic, and the guy who did the interview with Obama, said in answer to her question.
The president thinks that the American people are on his side when it comes to immigration, when it comes to gun control, and when it comes to fiscal issues, and he thinks that the Republican Party is increasingly extreme. Another piece of the interview that I thought was really, really fascinating is we asked him about the new kind of politics, the Obama of 2008, and where that had gone. And he mentioned two things that had been a real challenge. One was institutional reforms, specifically referencing the filibuster, and secondly, the media environment, the world in which we live, where we only really listen to the people that we agree with.
Only listen to people we agree with, and the only people that are in my way are Limbaugh and Fox News. To get rid of them, and then I've got a clean slate. Martha Raddatz then said, Sarah Palin even said something this week. She did not specifically talk about Fox, but that we're preaching to the choir is what she said.
There's a growing sense that there's a need for media outlets and media opportunities that are not necessarily centrist, but that have different perspectives and make it easy for us to hear people that we might disagree with and actually engage on the merits rather than just recycling old ideas.
You realize, ladies and gentlemen, that I kind of am in this position, not because of anything I do, really. it's because the mainstream media has ceased doing what they are constitutionally charged with doing. Kirsten Powers, noted liberal commentator on Fox, last week, I forget what the story was about, but she was on with John Fund, and they were talking about the White House press corps, and she thought what Fund had said had been a little bit too easy on the media. She said, it was about Al Joker and all these people fawning over Obama, going gaga, as though he's a celebrity of the United States during the inaugural parade, just going gaga. She said, it's embarrassing. The purpose of the media is to hold people in power accountable, and they're not doing this. They're swooning. And she went on to say, I would never swoon. I couldn't do it. She said, it's embarrassing to watch what the media do. And she's exactly right. So the only reason, folks, I mean, I would love to take credit for this. I'd love to say that I find myself here because of a brilliantly conceived and flawlessly executed strategy. But one of the reasons that Fox News and I stand out like sore thumbs here is because the rest of the media is gone. The rest of the media is in a tank. The rest of the media has long ago ceased doing their job. They're not reporting. They're not curious. They're not holding Obama accountable. They are on board. They are part of the agenda advancement team. So Obama says, the only thing standing in my way is Limbaugh and Fox. What do the media do? They go after me and Fox. They're not at all concerned about what's happening here in the slightest. Let's jump to soundbite 5. Ben Shapiro, young, bright, young conservative. He is running Breitbart News now. He's the editor-at-large at Breitbart.com. He was on Fox and Friends this morning with Steve Doocy, and reacting to this claim Obama made. Doocy said, what do you think of the president's quote there? Fox News and Rush Limbaugh.
He has dictatorial tendencies. He talks about how the incentive structure needs to be changed. He's talking about silencing members of the media that he doesn't like. And he's done this before. This idea that Fox News is some sort of evil force in the media. He's gone after Rush Limbaugh. He's attempted to start secondary boycotts of Rush Limbaugh. This is what he does. He's a bully.
And he's going after the NFL in the same way. And he's going after anybody he disagrees with the same way. That's Ben Shapiro, the editor-at-large at Breitbart.com. And Obama has been part of these secondary boycott attempts. There's no question, but unprecedented for presidents. I mean, if Richard Nixon had endeavored to do 20% what Obama's doing, I mean, the roof would blow.